maybe I can talk about another trivia. Now we all know every car brand has a performance version, right? Now, the premium ones especially. Volvo has Polestar, Mercedes has AMG, BMW has M, and Audi has RS, right? If you look back, or if you know Audi's a bit of their history on S and RS, you will know that they started off with S first. There was never an RS, okay? It was S all this while. Now if you look at, now this is the A4, this is the S4, which is derived from the A4. The first generation A4 was the B5. This is now the B8, okay? In the B5 S4, it has a 2.7 twin turbo engine, okay? Of course, that A4 generation also has an RS variant, but the RS also has a 2.7 twin turbo. So since the B5 generation, Audi has sort of established a strategy whereby the S and RS have the same engine, but the RS will have a higher output, until this generation where they split the strategy, whereby the RS4 has a 4.2 V8 and then the S4 only has a 3-liter V6 supercharged engine, which has more torque, by the way. But actually the S4 and RS4 came out later than the S5 and RS5 of the B8 generation. So in the B8 generation, the RS where did we go? Okay, anyway, I'm following Con, sorry. The S5 and RS5 started off both having the 4.2 V8, with the S5 having a smaller tune, 355 horsepower or so, or 340, I don't know, 350 horsepower, whereas the RS5 has 420 horsepower, okay, 80 horsepower more. And then halfway through, when the S4 came out with the supercharged 3-liter V6, the S5 adopted the same engine as well, which is also 3-liter supercharged V6. Now, I mentioned just now that Audi never had an RS, because back then they have the Audi S1 and then they have the Audi S2. So how did the RS came about? It's an interesting story. Now, in the early 90s, actually it started from the 80s, Porsche ran into problems, financial issues. As we all know, Volkswagen already owned Audi back then, and then Porsche and Volkswagen, they are all one big family, right? It's the same family clan that owns shares in each other. So that time Porsche was in a dire situation, okay? Porsche almost bankrupted from the 80s to the early 90s, until some guy by the name of Wendelin Wiedeking saved the company. Now, I like German companies because even though they're rivals, they cherish each other greatly. Okay, you go to any Mercedes or Audi or BMW executives, right? You try to talk bad about the 911, they don't like it at all. 911s are their national heroes. Okay, all of them respect the Porsche 911. All of them respect and love the Porsche brand. So you never talk bad about Porsche in front of executives of other German brands. Never. Alright? Now, when Porsche was in dire situation, you know what the other German brands did? I really salute them, especially Tyco or Mercedes-Benz. They once offered to buy up BMW because BMW was almost bankrupt. They once offered to buy them to save them, and then they also offered to help Porsche by handing them special projects. Audi did the same thing. Audi actually passed the S2 to Porsche and said that do something with it and we'll give you money so that you won't bankrupt. Okay, so Porsche fiddled with the S2 and created the RS2 with a Porsche branding on the engine and all that. So the RS from Audi's, the RennSport, actually came from Porsche. The Porsche GT3 RS, the Porsche RS, the Carrera RS, that RS was borrowed from Porsche to Audi, which created the current Audi RS lineage or history. Yeah, so Audi RS actually stands for RennSport as well, which came from Porsche's influence. Some trivia you might or might not know. Cheers. Of course, now Audi totally bastardized the RS brand. I especially hate the RS Q3. It has no reason to exist. Still it does. Anyway, that's it. Cheers.